any production shop, time means everything. From preparing the material to getting the end product out the door, each wasted minute translates into money lost. In this video, we will demonstrate how assembling cabinet face frames with pocket screw joinery and Kreg products can greatly speed your work and improve your company's bottom line. For those of you unaware of pocket screw joinery, the technique essentially involves drilling an angled hole into a workpiece and attaching it to a second workpiece with a specialized self-tapping screw. Professional woodworkers all across the country have found it to have an extremely low cost of entry and incredible long-term benefits. As you know, the first step in producing a high-quality face frame, regardless of the joinery technique you use, is to make sure your materials are planed to the same thickness and square on all edges. This assures tight-fitting joints and a perfectly square frame. For the frame we're assembling in this video, we'll be ripping 3/4 inch material into 2 and 1.5 inch wide strips. The final frame dimensions will be 31 inches tall by 21 inches wide and will include 2 drawer bank openings. The stiles and the center 2 rails will be 2 inches wide, while the top and bottom rails will each be 1.5 inches wide. Once our face frame stock has been ripped to width, cutting it to length becomes the next obstacle. The Kreg track and stop system was designed to provide an extremely accurate and repeatable method for cutting rails and stiles to length quickly and consistently. In this setup, we're using 2 stops, one set at 31 inches from the blade and the other set at 17 inches. The flip stop set at the 17-inch mark is uniquely designed to elevate out of the way by simply pushing a board into its face. By elevating the flip stop, you have effectively bypassed the 17-inch mark, providing quick access to the 31-inch stop. This saves you the time and lost accuracy of having to set and reset the stops to cut a variety of lengths, and also allows for multiple preset stop positions. When you remove the workpiece, the flip stop returns to its original position, ready for the next task. Once your material is sized accurately, the next step is to drill the pocket holes into the edges of the rails. We start by placing the show side of each piece face down on the work surface. Then, we place a quick pencil mark on the back side of each piece, which will identify the side to drill the pocket holes. One of the time-saving features of pocket screw joinery is that unlike other joinery techniques, only one side of the joint needs to be machined prior to assembly. During the assembly of the face frame, no work whatsoever will be done to the stiles until the screws are driven. There's no need to match up dowel holes or make complex mortise and tenon measurements. Just machine one workpiece and joint to the second using a self-tapping screw. This simple process is accomplished by drilling the pocket hole with a special step drill bit. This drill bit is designed to drill both a pocket hole for the screw head to sit into and a guide hole for the screw shank to follow, all in one simple motion. Kreg offers a variety of machines to actually drill the pocket holes. The machine shown here is our most popular fully automatic machine, the DK3100. This machine has the ability to drill 2 pocket holes in one machine cycle across varying widths of stock. Perfect for this frame as we're joining both 1.5 and 2 inch wide rails. For the 2 inch wide rails, we have drill bits set in a 1 inch on-center configuration. The rail edge is placed up against the positioning stop and the foot pedal is depressed to complete 1 machine cycle and 2 pocket holes. The rail is then flipped end for end and the process is repeated. To drill the 1.5 inch rails, we'll change the configuration of the drill bits to the 3/4 inch on-center spacing. This bit changing process takes only about 1 minute, so you can get back to drilling pocket holes as fast as possible. Again, we place the rail edge up against the stop and drill both edges. For slightly smaller shops, we also offer a semi-automatic pocket hole machine called the Foreman. The Foreman produces identical results to the DK3100, only 1 hole at a time. A pull of the lever on the semi-automatic Foreman secures the workpiece to the machine and produces a single pocket hole. Once we've completed the machining process, we begin assembling the frame. Our pneumatic framing table is the fastest and most accurate way to assemble face frames in a production setting. We begin the assembly process by laying the first stile up against the squaring fence along the left side of the table. Next, we place the 1.5-inch bottom rail into position. A tip to speed the assembly is to cut specifically sized story sticks that hold the face frame parts into position while assembling. For this frame, we have two 5-inch tall story sticks cut from a plastic material that will serve as the drawer bank openings, and a 14-inch tall story stick that will create the large bottom opening. The framing table has 4 powerful pneumatic clamps that can each be positioned vertically along the clamping arm to secure the pieces for assembly. Each cylinder can be actuated individually or all at the same time with a master switch found at the bottom of the clamping arm. A pneumatic screw gun can also be attached to the clamping table, allowing screws to be driven at a very fast rate. The screws that are used to assemble a pocket screw joint are special in that they feature a self-tapping tip that drills its own hole as it's screwed into place. This eliminates the need to drill a pilot hole into the stile. The screws are case hardened so that they won't break off in hardwoods while being driven, have a flat bottom that seats firmly into the bottom of the pocket hole, and are threaded on only half of the shank to assure the joint line pulls together tightly. Glue is optional on pocket screw joints. In the case of face frames, we suggest that you do add a thin layer of glue to the joint as it will make for the strongest possible connection. The big time saver of pocket screw joinery is that even if you use glue on that joint line, you don't need to wait for the glue to dry. Each screw serves as a mini internal clamp that keeps the joint line tight and creates a tremendously strong wood-to-wood bond. As a result, assembly time can be cut in half over techniques such as doweling, biscuiting, and mortise and tenon. With all of the joints assembled, simply unclamp and remove the story sticks. Pocket screw joints are extremely flush directly off the framing table, but if desired, you can quickly run a pocket screwed face frame through the wide belt sander to clean up the faces. Because the screws are applying constant force to each joint, this process can be done far before the glue has dried. Don't worry about the sanding belt hitting a screw, as the head of each screw sits well below the surface of the wood in a correctly assembled joint. Fast assembly, strong joints, and a simple process. Best of all, the startup costs associated with producing face frames at a production level fall well within the budget of most small shops. If you aren't using pocket screw joinery to build your face frames, you owe it to yourself to give it a try. If you would like more information, or would like to request a DVD that details the features of our specific machines, visit our website at www.craigtool.com.